Alright guys, I'm going to need to sit back and pay attention because we've got two pretty juicy topics today. So we received confirmation that AMD will be launching 3 classes of products at their CES keynote. The Ryzen 3000 series CPUs, Ryzen 3000 series with Vega Graphics, and a consumer Radeon graphics card, which is probably the Radeon Vega 2. Lisa will also be talking in depth about AMD's 7nm progress at the CES keynote. Now the Ryzen 3000 series is fairly straightforward, and we've been hearing about the upcoming Picasso series for quite a while now, and there's even talks on the grapevine that this will be featuring in an upcoming Xbox console. Now that said, AMD will be launching both the CPU and APU SKUs at CES 2019 during their keynote. The APUs will have Vega graphics and will be competing against an Intel NVIDIA combinations in the mobility segment. And perhaps the more interesting news is the confirmation that AMD will be launching a Radeon consumer graphics card, and this much we have confirmed. As for what it is, based on our past talks with some industry insiders, we believe that this is going to be the Radeon Vega 2, the 7nm consumer variant of Vega 20. This is something that we were told is one of the last projects of Mike Rayfield and should be the one AMD launches at CES 2019, and availability should be in the first half of 2019 after the CES launch. And that's it for the update. If you want to stick to our sources verified data, otherwise, feel free to head over to the link in the description for a bit more details, albeit a bit looser. Pivoting now over to NVIDIA for an updated look at the future of Turing and the non-ray trace side of things. So NVIDIA has completed their high-end GeForce RTX 20 series lineup and will now transition their Turing architecture into the more budget-oriented and mainstream cards. We've heard reports about the new RTX 2060 graphics card, which is expected to arrive next month, but it looks like we will soon be seeing more Turing options in the sub-$200 US price range. These latest bits come once again from the man himself, Tom Apisak, who has been covering database entries on the unreleased graphics cards and processors for a while now. The listing was spotted in the Geekbench database, where an NVIDIA graphics device with 14 SMs was spotted. The new card is supposedly based on the Turing GPU architecture and packs a total of 896 CUDA cores, and there's also 4 GB of memory and a maximum frequency of 1560 MHz, which could be the clock speed for this particular graphics card. It is presumed that this might be the upcoming GeForce GTX 2050 or GTX 1150, since the new rumors state that the non-RTX lineup may end up being branded under the GeForce 11 series rather than the GeForce 20 series. And there's also no details whether the card utilizes the new GDDR6 memory or is the older GDDR5 standard. When it comes to performance, the graphics card scores 114,206 points in the OpenCL benchmark. The score is a major giveaway that this is a new card, as the performance uplift from the existing 1050 Ti and 1050 is drastically huge in an 896 CUDA core package. A GeForce GTX 1050 scores around 73,000 points, while the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti scores around 84,000 points. And while the unreleased card is a good 30,000 points ahead of its predecessors, this is also noteworthy that we don't know if this is a full chip configuration for the Turing die, or will be featured on an entry-level graphics card or a slightly disabled one. The other interesting details in this leak is the OpenCL performance score of the GeForce RTX 2060, which is now confirmed to feature 30 SMs or 1920 CUDA cores. The graphics card is mentioned to feature 6 GB of GDDR6 and clocks that are set around 1200 MHz. The OpenCL performance rated at 211,876 points, whereas the 1070 Ti scores around 175,000. And since NVIDIA is closing in on their CES 2019 keynote, we can expect an announcement regarding the entry-level lineup and the new RTX mobility lineup in the coming days. Either way, we'll be at CES again this year in a few weeks to be doling out as much information as we get it while we're there at the event. So let us know what you hope to see from AMD. Do you want to see a new consumer Vega card, or would you rather just wait for Navi? And more budget offerings from the Turing architecture. Are you down? Well, this has been Keith with WCCF Tech TV. Make sure that you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so that we don't miss you in the next one.